Hello and welcome to Mars Day with Mark number 36. This is your weekly astrology breakdown for the week of February 13th until February 20th. It is your host with the most, Mr. Meyer with the fire, here to share ideas and take the collective vibration higher. I'm so excited to make this video, tell you guys what's going on. We're trying something new today, so I'm trying to look at the camera because I'm on two devices right now. So in the past, I used to show the screen to the camera, but I figured I might as well screen share. So if you guys like this style of video better, let me know. If you want me to go back to the old way, let me know in the comments below. But without further ado, let me start screen sharing. I'm going to pull up the chart of the moment and we're going to get right into it. I'm so excited to show you guys what's going on. I think we are good. Wait until I can see it on this end. It's 11:11. We set our intention to, where did it go? To provide clarity, to provide insight, and to provide positivity to the world as we go through this cycle. So this is the chart of the moment. This is my local geography. So I will just say, my friends, that you can ignore the houses, but just pay attention to the planets and their positions in the constellations and what aspects, what angles they make to each other. So I'll be talking about this as we go. I'll be showing you how the week unfolds. And I hope you enjoy. If you do, hit that like button. Feel free to share this with friends. The more the merrier. Let's get there. So first thing I want to draw your attention to is the sun in Aquarius. This is actually the last full week with the sun in Aquarius. You can see the sun right here at 24 degrees of Aquarius in 1 week. The sun will actually be at the second degree of Pisces. So we are going through a transition this week, and that's very exciting. And this says, Aquarius people might be celebrating their birthday. Pisces is coming up. But this shift kind of reflects going back into the water, which we all came from. Aquarius is an air sign. It talks about the collective, humanity at large, how our higher intellect works, how we wish and hope for a better future. And then Pisces, as the last sign of the zodiac, talks more about our dreams and our connection to the universe at large and how we can return back to the source of where we came. Pisces can also talk about, the greater good that we can serve, or how we can connect to a higher power on some level. So really what I want to say, my friends, when it comes to this transition that we're going to be experiencing this week, and let me put this more in front of you guys. So it's like I'm not talking to the side of you. Okay, cool. So when it comes to this seasonal transition, this is going to be either highly illuminating, highly mystifying. The thing that I should note here, which a lot of us are already very clear about, is that life is ultimately what you make it. Life is going to, in the universe even, is going to respond to what you give. The sun talks about our creative powers, and that's what we're talking about now. Is ultimately, when it comes to life and a lot of things, it's not really what you're seeing in life, it's more so how you see it. Pisces is a very interesting sign. Beyond it being the last one and having a little bit of the energy of everything before it, Pisces really does ask us to question our perception and maybe even acknowledge the power of changing our perception. That's what I really feel called to speak about as we jump into this astrology report, where we start today with the sun at 24 degrees of Aquarius. We got some time for engineering, having a great time. I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm kind of excited right now. I've had a beautiful day. I've been working out really hard, and this is such a beautiful chart for this astrology breakdown with Scorpio on the ascendant and Leo on the midheaven. This really feels like power and growth, personal growth. So this week, I want to let you know the moon is waxing. So if you look at the sun in this chart, it's in the fourth house of Aquarius. And the houses, like I said, don't matter in this context because this is just where I'm filming from. But the moon is in Aries as I'm filming this. And, with the moon going in the direction of the zodiac, that's going to say that we've just passed our new moon in Aquarius and we're actually heading up into the full moon in Pisces. Or I'm sorry, the full moon in Virgo when the sun goes into Pisces. So this won't be until the following week, and we'll talk more about it then. But my point is, this is a waxing moon week. This week, you'll see the moon moving its way through Aries and Taurus and Gemini and making its way downtown. So that's cool. And what that means is growth. The new moon, we set new intentions. I mean, I sure hope so. I made a really detailed breakdown with my friend Heather on my channel. So if you haven't seen it yet, I strongly encourage you to watch that video because we took the time to go through all 12 signs when it comes to the new moon and the full moon cycle. So that's there for you guys to check out. Take advantage of that. This week, when it comes to the waxing moon, once again, is about taking action on your goals and seeking alignment with your desires. Okay. This is about planting seeds. This is about taking action. All right. And when it comes to Aquarius, I can't understate the power of your mind. I encourage everybody to think 10 times harder than they act and really focus on clarity and alignment as opposed to just activity. Okay. Quality over quantity. I don't want to confuse anybody, quite the opposite. While quality is more important than quantity, it's often hard to get a substantial quality without making substantial quantity. So there is a value in hard work, but hard work is useless if you're not working smart. So hope you're following that conversation because there's about 5 points. So very spiky ideas that we are working with today. So I hope you stay safe and have some esoteric gloves on. You hear me? So let's talk about Mercury. And Mercury right now is at 14 degrees of Aquarius. So trailing right behind the sun. 1 week from now, what's going on? Mercury is going to be at 26 degrees of Aquarius. So it's a Mercury and Aquarius week. And what does that mean? So Mercury governs our mind. It governs our thought process, how we think, communicate, how we analyze. This is the power of perception, okay? Mercury does quite well here. Mercury loves being in air signs because this is saying that there's clear communication. And I think with the rest of the planets we'll cover, Mercury and Aquarius to me highlights strategy. And that if we really take the time to think again more than we act, we can really make sure our actions are powerful, aligned, supreme, even. So, another thing about Mercury Aquarius that I feel called to speak on is that, with this planet governing attitude on some level, this might call us to be more involved with others, to be more connected with the group, to maybe even start our own group. I feel like on some level, and speaking about Pisces coming up, I know a lot of people in this universe are feeling lonely. I can feel it in my heart of heart and my stomach of stomachs is that there's a lot of people out here feeling lonely, feeling detached, thinking about the future, the progress we want to make. And, you know, it sucks being alone or being around people that don't really see the world the way that you do. So your vibe attracts your tribe. That's one thing to consider, but also, action is so important by putting yourself in the arena to be around people that are similar to you. That's very valuable. And sometimes, you have to create the group if it doesn't exist. So Mercury in Aquarius is a very beautiful thing because it does stretch the perception. It helps us really realize things from a more universal lens. And one thing I will say on that note is that, you may be thinking about raising your consciousness, going to a higher order of things, trying to see your place in the universe and realize what your life is and what is your place in the society as well. How does that all interrelate? Because it does on some level. So one thing we want to note about the Aquarius stellium in the sky right now, because we have Mercury, we have Venus, we have Mars, we also have Pluto. So we got we're hanging out in Aquarius. Most of it's in Aquarius. The thing that you got to know about Aquarius is that it's ruled by Saturn, which talks about society, how the real world works. And then it is also ruled by Uranus, which really talks about change, the future, what is inevitable, what has to happen, what's good for everybody. This is about rebellion, being idealistic. So Aquarius is that really different iconoclast sign for that reason. So I just want to say that wherever Uranus is concerned, the vibration of anything it touches is going to elevate. Uranus accelerates. And that's what we got going on within the mind with Mercury and Aquarius. And this has been the theme of the whole exact month, probably a little bit longer if my memory is correct. You could check the ephemeris, but I digress. Mercury and Aquarius got us stripping back any layers of illusion to really arrive at true perception. So you're going to be realizing that self-awareness is freedom. Self-awareness gives you an ability to appreciate and acknowledge yourself and utilize your strengths and get out of your own way as well. And if you don't know yourself, you don't know anything else. So Mercury and Aquarius is a search for the truth too. And that will depend on you being honest with yourself. So that's going to be pretty important in people's lives. And one thing I want to state about Mercury this week is that, if you look at Mercury, we start at 14. This is today on the 13th as I'm filming this video. So that's Tuesday. We've got Uranus at 19 Taurus. And if I go back to the next week, which is going to be next Tuesday, the 20th, you're going to have Mercury at 26. And either way you look at it, that's a very, that's a 90-degree angle. It's a little bit looser at the end of the week, but Mercury is going to be square Uranus all week. So Mercury is in super Aquarius, if you want to call it that. That's one way to look at it. So really, this is going to be about picking up the pace, my friends, really getting down to business, confronting the demon is what I want to say. This is about making creative solutions within your life and saying no more to the illusions, the bullshit. This is about taking full accountability and freeing yourself, should you choose to. Not everybody wants freedom, but that's ultimately what I'm seeing as well. And then regardless if some people want it, I'm seeing that like with the spectrums of possibilities this will create for multiple people in the world. Like really everybody. It's just reflecting our life. I see some people live in this Mercury square Uranus as, a mental health crisis that forces them to get more in grips with themselves or more aware of their own perception, take more accountability for their assumptions too. So, among other things, that's one picture I'm painting. I don't think everybody's going to experience that, but I just really want us to be thinking in that dimension when it comes to this square with Uranus, is that freedom in the mind is what I'm seeing, is that if we're willing to change our paradigms, change our perceptions, and really confront with all of our mental resources the challenge at hand, we're going to find creative and innovative solutions, and we are going to find progress. So the challenge I'm seeing with this Mercury Uranus square is that if you really don't take the time to know yourself, to really disconnect to some degree, to arrive energetically or intentionally at the essence of who you are, what you're looking for, your true meaning, you could get distracted with this high amount of energy, because this is electrically charged when it comes to the mind this week. So you will see a vibrancy this week. You will see a spark and an eccentricity to the actions we take, the way that we maneuver our environment, the way that we go throughout our day-to-day this week. So I really just want to encourage you guys to be willing to shake things up in your routine. Look at the patterns that you make and then rebel against them if it's not going to be too disruptive to your well-being and growth. Look at how we can unlimit our thinking and change our paradigms and be more consistent. Because really what I want to say from my heart, I said earlier, from my stomach of stomachs, this one really comes from my solar plexus of solar plexuses, is that a lot of people don't know who the fuck they are. Their message to others is confusing. Their message to themselves is confusing. And their message to the universe is confusing as a consequence. So the universe has a hard time giving them what they actually want. Because you ask for one thing 1 second and then the exact opposite the next moment. So make that shit make sense and quit sending missed messages to the world and yourself. Be honest with yourself. And this just means strip the layers of bullshit. What do you want? Fuck what the world told you about yourself. What do you want? And you have to come up with a label and identity for your life and your self. And here's the secret if you're following this conversation, the secret: nothing has meaning until you give it meaning. So let that sink in. Can you apply that with reason? Put a positive label to yourself, put a positive label towards your experiences. And I promise you, you will grow in a positive way. The universe can respond to that. So we love to see that. So let's talk about Venus, because I could talk about the Mercury dimension all day. I got some strong Mercury aspects. I'm sure you probably do too if you check out your chart. It's worth looking into. Let's talk about Venus. Ooh, and let's drink water. I really feel a need to drink water right now. Oh, one thing about Aquarius is this is really about living in the head, living in the mind, and it's really important to ground yourself to be able to access all this good energy. You know, be stable, be grounded, be solid. If you guys read tarot cards, I really feel power energy from Aquarius, even though Aquarius is the star card. But doesn't star come after tower? I'm the one who teaches this, so I should know off the top of my head. But the funny thing is that the image of a lightning rod is very Aquarian. If you can ground yourself and you can reach to the heavens and you can be the conduit for high vibrational energies, you can make great change in the world. So I really hope somebody listening to this can take on the qualities of a lightning rod. So let's talk about Venus in the sign of Capricorn, moving to the sign of Aquarius. This week we got an ingress. So as you saw, she starts today at 26 Capricorn. 1 week from now, on the 20th, we're going to be at 5 Aquarius. And that's beautiful. So we're making that shift from earth to air. Venus in Capricorn, where we are now, is a pretty serious look at our relationships when it comes to love, friendship, partnership, business, all that. That's Venus in Capricorn. So the most beautiful way of looking at it, I would say, is building real bonds when it comes to people, but also your financial life. You'll be seeing that getting your money organized and your spending, your investing, your saving. This is going to be a real calling if you're not already doing that. So Venus in Capricorn says valuing longevity. And I think that's pretty beautiful. Appreciating what's going to come later on as opposed to the instant gratification. So that's pretty cool stuff. What else we got? Venus is going to make this conjunction to Pluto. So I want to say that on the 16th, which is Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, on Friday, we're going to have our quarter moon, the first quarter, where the moon's going to be in Taurus. But also, we're going to have Venus making the ingress into Aquarius on that Friday. So that's cool. So the thing about Venus and Aquarius is it's free love, or you could also consider the Uranian dimension of elevating relationships with yourself, with other people. And that's bringing honesty into connections. So we'd love to see this, man. It's going to bring some air. It's going to really increase communication abilities. That's going to be fun. That's going to make us feel more connected and free at the same time. Kind of a paradox, but I want you to really think about it. If you have honesty and trust and a clear mirror of communication and trust, you have the security to give yourself more distance from another person, but also in that space of trust, you feel more close at the same time, right? So that's the beautiful thing about Venus and Aquarius. And on some level, this same conversation would say, fall in love with the world, fall in love with the universe, realize that your love for yourself is the love for everything else, and vice versa. Straight up, man. And in the way I think about it, it's just as easy to love the whole entire world as it is to love some limited portion of the world, like yourself or just one person or a fraction of a person. Love everything, love everybody. It's really not that hard. Just expand your mind. You can find that out. And you can see it right here. But man, Venus is conjunct to Pluto, and that's serious. That's another conversation, And what does that mean? Evolving our love nature. I mean, that's the fastest way to get into this energy. evolving our love nature, diving deep into our needs. Pluto is the great revealer, my friend. So that's going to just really put love under an electron microscope for a second. And Venus moves rather quickly. It's the second planet after the sun. So Venus is really going to sweep over this. See, that was the day that she ingresses. She's going to move over the next degree the next day. So quick sweep, we get Venus passing over Pluto, and that's going to be a snapshot into the needs of your soul. All right. You have Venus aspects in your natal chart. You have a Venus Pluto midpoint as well. And there's a specific way to look at the needs of your soul. I'm just trying to make the point now, guys, that astrology plays out differently for everybody because we're all so unique. But, that's the opportunity we get here, is to take a glimpse into a deep connection, a deep need, or our deepest values, our most true and honest values. Pluto is death on some level, and I'm not suggesting this in the physical sense, more so the metaphysical and symbolic. So I just feel like true regeneration will come in the realm of love this week. It's a clean slate, a fresh start. This is basically like a trimming of the heartstrings on some level, rather than like, when they say plucking the heartstrings or, connecting them. I feel like they're just kind of on, some of these are going to be trimmed down a little bit. They regrow. It's kind of like new cycle beginning. So that's vague, but I do want to say it's ultimately about you, man. This is Aquarius, Venus, Aquarius, Pluto. Like, where is your natal Venus? What sign and house is it in? What aspects does it make? And what relationship does that have to your natal Pluto and its aspects and rulership? And what does that mean about your love and your values? That's the question you should be asking yourself, quite literally. Because I could tell you I did tell you it's going to play out as elevating relationships, but ultimately that's going to be one way on how you do that, knowing yourself, being able to deepen your connection with others. If you're on this video for a reason, it's time for you to dive deeper into your astrology, go more specific into it, because also, you can look at the composite chart when it comes to the person and people that you connect with. And that in itself is going to have unique information that's meaningful for your growth. So definitely look into that. And one other thing I want to say about Venus this week, which is really important, is that Venus is making a conjunction to Mars. And this is, I want to say, less serious, but it is very important. This is next Tuesday on the 20th. We've got Venus basically 1 degree away from Mars. And even today, where she is in Capricorn, 4 degrees away from Mars at 0 Aquarius, I really feel like the conjunction is going to be evident all week. So I just want to say all week, not to give you a specific date, all week, Venus and Mars are conjunct. Same thing with Pluto, for real. So we've got this really unique stellium going on. But Venus and Mars conjunct, what does that mean? That's going to be love and passion uniting. And that's beautiful. That's exciting. This is stimulating. It's nourishing. It's consuming. It's driving. Romance is going to be a key theme for a lot of people this week. Whether or not you are partnered, romance will be a key theme. If you are partnered, I see love getting deep, intense, and sparkly, right? If you're not and you're single, you may feel that burning desire to be loved. So this might be the cause this week of a lot of new relationships or situationships or friends that you enroll into your healthcare and other plans, in other words, benefits, basically. But um fuck, what am I talking about? Having a good time, man. Dude, I just rolled sneaky link. Uranus in the fourth, Scorpio. Scorpio in the fourth, basically. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Shit. All right, astrology jokes. I got a few. If you know, you know, and if you get them, I hope I'm not the only one who thinks it's funny. Okay, so beyond the romantic dimension to that Venus Mars conjunction, I will just say that creativity is a key theme here, where you're going to be called to really connect to something that consumes your passion. So you can find this in a person. Romance is one of the most, I mean, romance and carnal love, that's one of the most consuming things you can participate in. But ultimately, life is more than that, even though life is life, if you get what I'm saying. So you may be called to really indulge in your creativity or take a unique direction when it comes to your passion and where you want to build in life. Because Aquarius, Mars is where we're going. Like Mars ingressed into Aquarius today. So beyond that conjunction, let's talk about this Mars in Aquarius. Mars really rules our direction. It's going to point to where we go in life. It's our internal impulses. And for some people, it's going to be very unconscious. I mean, for everybody, it's very unconscious. But also, you will see how it manifests as choice because it's our direction. It's that red glyph between Pluto and Venus right here. So, from that same dimension of switching from Earth to air, Mars in Aquarius really is all about elevation when it comes to our lives in general. And that's using the mind, collaborating, strategizing, engineering your desires, and taking a scientific route towards manifesting what you want. Man, if you make a plan, you're gonna make it happen. I'm sure you've heard the phrase: "If you fail to plan, you plan to fail." So you can plan to succeed. Oh yeah. So if you make a foolproof plan, you can't fail. And I want to tell everybody to consider inverted thinking because this idea changed my life. So it's imperative to decide on a desire. Like if you don't know what you're going for, start there because there's no point in moving forward if there's no target. But when you've decided and established a target, what you want to try to do is consider how you could ensure and guarantee that you never attain that goal. And then really just do the opposite. So let's just say that I want to be in a healthy, happy relationship. Let's say this was really Venus, Mars coming together looking for romance. It's like, let's say I want my relationship to succeed. How could I fuck up my relationship? I could never text my woman or talk to her again. I could stop making eye contact, could stop valuing her. You know, I don't even want to say the other things, but you get the idea. I would never do that shit. It's like, how do I want to succeed in business? Or how could I fail in business? I could stop promoting myself. I could never tell anybody about my products. I could stop working. Do the opposite. Work as hard as you can. Follow up. You know, make as much content as you can. I hope you see the point. I'm going to try to pick one more example so we really get the point of inverted thinking driving home. Let's say I want to go to the moon. How can I ensure that I will never go to the moon? I could stay on Earth. I could never associate with astronauts or never talk to NASA, never build a rocket, never get schematics or plans or blueprints to build this thing or fund it or make a space for it. So it's like, let's flip it. Now I'm going to go talk to NASA. I'm going to go get blueprints. I'm going to find engineers. I'm going to put some money and capital together. I'm going to get myself a goddamn rocket. I'm going to space. You get what I'm saying? And the point of inverted thinking, my friends, is that the human mind is engineered to help us survive, not to help us thrive. So it's actually way easier to come up with negative shit as opposed to positive things. So when you challenge your brain to fail, it's almost automatically going to come up with all these creative ways to fail. So you can use that inverted thinking to your benefit and create a positivity bias out of it on some level if you really take the time to leverage it. So think about how to fail and do the opposite and consider if that might help you. So Mars Pluto conjunction, I'm sure you might be seeing it. What does that mean? Oh, you tell me, dude. Really? I mean, like, it's the crazy thing about the Mars Pluto conjunction, man. I could give you a lot of ideas archetypally with the language, but honestly, I think this says more about your soul than it says about my words. And that's something to think about. So let's talk about Jupiter and Taurus. Somebody got chills and they were like, okay, that part. Yeah, Jupiter is on the descendant. So I hope you are receiving the message because you are clearly the gift. All right. Jupiter is the biggest planet and this rules our growth. This rules our expansion. And Jupiter and Taurus is asking us to just focus on growth, dedicate to growth, focus on abundance. What you focus on grows. So give love and give abundance to others because giving is receiving. That's reciprocity. That's karma. If you don't give specific energies out, you don't put yourself in a position to receive them, right? So I can't emphasize enough, give that which you wish to receive. Jupiter Taurus talks about, I mean, and Uranus is here too, but this talks about taking care of the earth, coming back down to earth, grounding yourself. You know, we're in the season of air. There's a lot of air. The frequency of the planet is rising very fast. You can see this in a lot of ways, but that's the truth. So taking care of your community is of utmost importance right now. Do something to help the world move forward. So getting the most out of what you have is also a Jupiter Taurus thing because, you know, Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus. So Jupiter is really helping us grow through our love nature, our value nature. And really this really will talk about getting the most out of what you have, guys. If we can be as resourceful as possible, now we are going to amplify our growth and surely attract abundance. But if you don't appreciate what you have, if you don't make the most out of what you have, you don't need more. You already have enough. So just be clear. If you're not using your resources, there's probably a reason why you haven't found what you want out of life. Okay. And Jupiter is actually the ruling planet of Pisces, which is where Saturn is. And Saturn is the next planet. So, how cool. So, Saturn in Pisces is, I have no notes on Saturn Pisces. So, let me just speak from the heart and the mind, you know. And I was doing that the whole time, but I'm just making sure I hit my points over here on my notes. But yeah, I literally only wrote Saturn Pisces. And just understand this is our gatekeeper. Saturn has a big ring around it, and it really it's the planet of Capricorn. It's all about our structure, our society, and how we live in this world. And there's this deep spiritual dimension to being right now with Saturn and Pisces. And this will be the theme for some years. But the whole point of Saturn and Pisces is for us to be intimately connected with the universe and for us to use this knowledge and this relationship in a real way that benefits the community, that serves the greater good. And if I could be very specific, Saturn in Pisces is really asking us to stop playing the victim game, to stop playing the blame game, to stop playing the complaining game, and to stop justifying through weak forms of logic why we don't have what we want. We can make problems or we can make solutions. The universe is telling us all the time. This is the beautiful thing about the universe. The universe is telling us all the time that we can have exactly what we want because it's giving us what we ask for. We have nobody to blame but ourselves for the lives that we're living. And I see Saturn at the 7th degree of Pisces at 59 minutes right now as we're having this discussion, about to move into the 8th degree. And I just feel like you have to take responsibility for your soul too. You have to take responsibility for your unconscious as well. The unknown unknowns do affect us. Like I said one more time, or I said before, you can make problems or solutions. Complaints are wasted energy. Justifying what you don't have or justifying your actions of failure is also wasted energy. So always be spending energy moving in the direction of what you wish for and what you want. And just realize nobody's coming to save you. So you got to save yourself. This universe is a beautiful thing, and it is big and it is good. I truly believe the universe is good. I've seen it, but I'm just trying to tell you guys the message of Saturn Pisces is if you don't serve yourself, if you have not elected to make the choice to attain what you want, the universe is getting the mixed messages and saying, I don't know how to support you. You have to tell the universe clearly what you want and be about it, not just say that you're about it. Actions speak a lot louder than words. And when it comes to Pluto and Aquarius, we're going to be holding the actions up to the electron microscope. Are you really who the fuck you say you are? Because we can all see, but so can the universe, man. So I hope that this message has inspired you. I hope it has uplifted you. I have a little more to tell you about. I want to tell you that where we're going is beautiful. To put some context to this whole reading, I want to focus on the North Node, okay? And just let you guys know that the North Node is in the sign of Aries. This reflects our collective destiny and where we're growing towards, okay? And before I talk about Aries, if I really get into it, because I feel like a broken record, I'm going to get into it anyway and kind of combine the two. I want to talk about the fact that Chiron is up here at 16 degrees, touching the node. So the whole point of this discussion, why I'm bringing this to your attention, my friends, is that we have to focus on healing. We have to focus on health, whatever that means to you, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, it all is the same. Living a good life, well-being, that's really important. When it comes to the Aries energy more specifically, a lot of this healing may talk about healing your self-image, like your first house, your temple, who you see yourself as, who you think you are, seeing yourself more positively, speaking love and life into yourself, acknowledging your beautiful face. And I mean that. My Reiki healers, or anybody really, could send Reiki to their face. If you took Reiki healing classes, you probably were taught in the class to send Reiki to your face right at the beginning. It's one of the first placements. So make sure you're taking advantage of that so you can, I mean, and also your eyes are in your face, eyes are perception. Take time to send energy to the way you perceive the world in general. Very important to improve our self-image. And the thing about Chiron and Aries and North Node here as well, pushing our growth towards self, this is really about taking accountability and sorting out the anger issues. I feel the pain and really like the heat in my heart as I'm talking about this energy and it's anger issues. It's things that haven't had a channel. Like you need avenues to express this aggression. So letting this stuff out in a positive, constructive way, or using that destructive force to build strength or to protect others and self. So yeah, we're done blaming other people. We're taking full accountability. We're done complaining, and we are not justifying why we aren't attaining our results. We're making new approaches. That's what we're doing. And also another thing about this Aries energy is that we're not playing small anymore. We're expanding our limits. We're leaning out of our edge. Some of the challenges with this one is beyond all the blame game, the being too wrapped up in other people. I mean, that's a real big challenge for a lot of people, including myself. Beyond all that crap, not taking action is also an action. And that usually results in, guess what? Nothing. So, like, hey, make that shit make sense, man. It takes energy to do nothing. So, beyond that, taking action, not choosing a direction is also pretty dangerous. So, don't play small. Give yourself permission to be a pioneer. Allow yourself to go first or just to be free in some way, shape, or form. And when it comes to reading the nodes in the chart, my friends, you have to look at the ruling planet. Mars is the ruler of Aries. You've got the South Node in Libra. Venus is the ruling planet of Libra. These two are in a conjunction all week. And with Pluto here in the mix, my friends, life is forcing us to look at love right now. All right. And the bold truth, none of us would be here if it wasn't for love or the union of opposites, right? And we all contain masculine and feminine energies. And it's absolutely necessary to unite those forces in yourself so you can be at harmony with the world and others. So, my reminder for you now is the world can only really bring out what's inside of you. So, you really got to look into the nature of your soul. There's a lot to that. If you don't know where to start or you want some help, I really encourage you guys to grab Simplified Astrology or grab Simplified Tarot or grab a private reading with me. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Your chart has all the answers you're looking for. Because the moment a question is formed, the answer already exists in the universe. You can refer everything back to this map. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Blessed be. Oh no, how do I turn this off? I was going so smooth. I'm going to keep this in here too. I love you guys so much, man.